Okay, this is going to be the, one of the very first Airsoft videos I'm going to post on my channel. And this is going to be one of the most, biased reviewed guns I've ever seen, because I know E-Vike and a bunch of other places have reviews for this, but most of them are biased and are paid for by the company to make a good review on it. I, however, have had this gun for, since March, so 5 or 6 months, somewhere around there. This is going to be of my Gun CO2 1911 Airsoft non-blowback gas pistols. This is the one with the metal slide on it. So it's not one of those Sportline plastic ones. This is the metal slide one from Gun, and the box and everything, it's nothing too special. It's got a picture of the general look of the 1911 on it, and some Chinese or Japanese words that I don't feel like trying to translate for you. Okay. Inside the box, you get pretty much all of this. You have your instruction manual for the Gun 1911. The model number for this pistol is Sports 601, which I think that's the same for for all of these 1911 types. You get your 15 round CO2 magazine. More on this later, and this is probably one of the biggest complaints on the gun I have. You get your bottle of BBs. There's usually about 100 of these. Actually, there's about 100 of these, which normally I would probably tell you to go throw away, but I've actually used most of these, and they're actually decent quality, so go ahead and use them. And you get your CO2 1911 non-blowback. Okay, so I zoomed in just a little bit, so that way you can actually see the gun. This is pretty much a basic gun for most 1911 users. You should be able to pick this gun up without a problem and use it just as normal as your standard 1911 by WE or any people like that. So as you can see, this one has a two-toned frame and the receiver and everything. This is all two-toned. Everything pretty much you see that is silver on this side is plastic pretty much. So the whole lower frame of it, with some minor exceptions, are plastic. And everything on the top right here, pretty much that's all metal. There is a decent amount of plastic on this gun, but the metal parts on this gun are all the silver metal parts on this gun, like the hammer, the trigger, and slide release. Pretty much any part of it that's silver I have two complaints about it. Number one, it's a bit too shiny for me, and number two, they look and feel extremely cheap. Let's see. Almost all the parts, with the exception of the safety and the non-functioning slide release right here, all those parts, with the exception of all those parts, all of them have like a giant seam running down it. It's metal, but it's not good quality metal. I mean, it's metal. It's better than plastic, but not by much. So basically, this is a CO2 powered non-blowback pistol. So you're looking to get about 450 to 500 feet per second with the .20 gram BBs out of this gun, which is way hotter than any KWA, WEs, or anything like that, even though they probably have better quality externally. FPS, this probably will win, unless you upgrade yours somehow. But right now we're going to move on to my absolute two biggest complaints about this entire gun. Number one, this magazine, it holds 15 rounds. It doesn't have a lot of special things on the outside other than a metal feed lip. This part up here, that's metal, and the spring, it locks down so you don't have to hold it down like on a bunch of WE pistols. And then to bring it back up, there's just a little tab right here. You just click it and it springs back up. You're looking to get about 150 to 200 shots out with one CO2 cartridge, or at least that's what the website and a bunch of e-bike reviewers say. Don't believe that, because I use this on a 75-degree day, and I was lucky to get about 70 to 80 shots. And this is only this is a $30 magazine that only holds 15 rounds. The thing about the magazine that I don't like is that when you put it in, well, this particular model right here, it doesn't snap in. Like, you can literally just pull it down. It doesn't snap in at all. You don't have to press anything. I'm going to hold it like this just to show you. I'm going to smack it in for you just to be sure. And it just won't come out. That can be one of two things. It can mean either the magazine catch on the magazine, which is about right here, is dented so it won't engage all the way. That I'm willing to believe. That might be part of the reason. Or the second reason is that the mag catch is broken. I'm not exactly sure which, but someone in the comments will probably correct me on that, probably. My second biggest complaint about the gun, it's basically the slide on this particular model. Usually you pull it back and it exposes your hop up, and then you can just swing it back forward. Well, with this particular model, yours might not be the case, but I've heard several complaints from people online and a bunch of other things. The slide does get locked back on the hammer, and you cannot make it go forward. The slide release on this side won't function. It's not going to bring it down. What you have to do is you have to press the hammer down on the back right here, and the slide will come back forward and you're able to shoot again. That's kind of a pain, but then again, if you're going to be using this in a practical war, you don't really need to rack the slide every time. You don't have to do that, just to add the cool factor. This is where the hop up is exposed, and this kind of can work to your advantage in at least one way. You pull the slide back, and since it locks back, it reveals your hop up. Actually, I think I'm gonna zoom in real. Actually, no, I'm not. There's a little. Let's see here. About right here, there's a 1.5 or 1 millimeter hex key. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a little thing like that. It does come in the kit, but I didn't bring it in here for some reason. I think I just forgot. Oh well. Anyway, that's where your hop up is, and you do need a tool to adjust it. Let's see. There is a 20 millimeter rail on the bottom right here, so that way you can mount anything you want, pretty much, from red dot laser sights or anything like that. That's all your choice on what you think looks cool, because this gun already looks decent because it is pretty much a tacticalized 1911 pistol. It's not really meant to look like one of the World War II pistols because, number one, it's got the ridges on the front, the front ridges on the front where you can grab it right here and pull it back if you want. The original 1911s just had it back here, and this one also replicates that. The trigger is not the standard 1911 trigger that you'll find on a bunch of World War II era pistols. This one you do pull it back a good ways before you can actually let it go. Another thing with this gun, it is single and double action, meaning you can do this if you want. However, if you're not experienced with it, and just to make your life easier for like precision shooting, you can pull the hammer back manually just by pulling it back, and that makes the trigger pull a lot less than what you would normally find. It's basically on what need you want. One thing that I immediately did not like about this gun, and I know this is going to turn a lot of players off right away, this orange tip right here, it is pretty much fixed to the barrel. It's not to the outer barrel. It's not threaded or anything. It's literally glued on there. So you're going to have to do some technique to get it off, because I have not been able to get it off, because when I first got this, I presumed that this was either a threaded barrel or one of those caps that you find on WEs you can just pull right off. No, this is attached to the barrel, and it's attached pretty firm, so you're going to need a technique on how to get that off. On this side, you do have some trademarks. I'm not sure if you can see this very well. Actually, I may zoom in for you. So these are the trademarks. Nothing too special about it. It says Special Combat 1911, U.S. Let's see, what does it say? U.S. Army, February 14th of 1911, and it just says Special Combat 1911. As you can see earlier, this is not the normal 1911, because this one, although it does have this replicated, it does have this one on the front as well, so that way you can grip the slide and pull it back. And while I'm already zoomed in this close, I might as well show you the metal and plastic parts. Metal parts are the hammer on the back right here, the safety, which is right here, up for safe and then down for fire. Trigger, which is a pain when you have to pull the trigger at this angle without any arch support. It does get kind of a pain. The slide release, the whole slide, the silver chamber right here, the front sight, and the magazine, those are all metal. The plastic parts, the entire lower frame, these grips, which are actually decently comfortable. The non-functioning beaver tail safety on here, which does not move at all, it's fixed. So some 1911 people might have a complaint about that. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just a view. And the magazine release as well, that's plastic. So basically that was the overview of that was the review of the Wing Gun CO2 powered non-blowback 1911 CO2 pistol. I picked this gun up for $65 on www.evike.com. They're a pretty good company. They got a really good selection, pretty good prices. Go out and pick it up. And this has been me, and signing off. See you guys in the next video.